Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to Friday's Everton 24/7 report. Plenty to report over the last 2 days, and we'll start with the rather sensationalist headline printed by the Daily Mail yesterday. That headline suggested that Everton were being investigated by the Premier League after it was announced at the AGM earlier this week that USM were going to pay $30 million for a first option on stadium naming rights. Thankfully, Alan Myers set the record straight last night and said that this kind of scrutiny of club accounts happens to every Premier League club and not just Everton. And it kind of shows up, I think, Matt Hughes' article to be a whole lot of nothing. The real positive that I take from all this media scrutiny over the whole situation is that the press are up in arms over the kind of strategies we're employing. And for me, that suggests that we're doing something right in terms of maybe breaking their beloved establishment. And it might just be an indicator that we are starting to move in the right direction. So hopefully with Usmanov pulling some strings off the pitch and Carlo Ancelotti pulling strings on the pitch, the future is looking bright. And on the note of the manager, Carlo Ancelotti, he had his press conference today ahead of our trip to West Ham tomorrow. Unfortunately, the negative to come out of the presser was that Richarlison will miss the game with a slight knee injury, but Ancelotti says he'll hopefully be back for the Newcastle game on Tuesday. Gylfi Sigurdsson is also injured, but Yerry Mina is fit and ready to play tomorrow. In the same press conference, Ancelotti also spoke quite interestingly about how he admires the qualities of Everton Suarez, who have of course been very heavily linked to us over the past week or so. Despite that, he was very coy about the transfer speculation and suggested that no move had been made for Everton Suarez by Everton Football Club. So make of that what you will. No doubt his name will still be on many lips as we move towards the end of this transfer window. But one name that we don't look like getting now is Matías Vecino from Inter, because Sport Italia reported today that Everton have cooled their interest and now a deal has apparently been agreed for Vecino to move to Tottenham as part of a part exchange deal, which would see Christian Eriksen join Inter Milan. For me, this isn't a real blow, as Vecino doesn't seem to be the answer, in my opinion, to our midfield issues. I don't think he has the necessary physicality. And for me, I think he's only be another large wage on our payroll, which I don't think we really need right now, and I think we've made a good move ducking out with this move. Unfortunately, on the note of unnecessary wages on the payroll, Oumar Niasse today apparently rejected 2 offers from Championship teams to sign for them on loan till the end of the season. He stated that he doesn't want to play in the Championship, and let's be honest, aside from the fact that he is most likely a Championship level player anyway, this is quite infuriating for me because it suggests that he is now a player who is simply prepared to sit and take his big wage and sponge off the club while not even trying to pursue first team football. Granted, Niasse has had some hard times here in the past under Ronald Koeman more than anybody, but for me this has to be the moment now where all the love, and be it ironic or not, it has to stop because this is out of order. Niasse really, if he values his career, needs to move on, and we need to move forward as well. And we need to also make sure that signings that like Niasse don't happen again, and that we are more astute in the transfer market from both a football and a financial perspective. Right, now the Niasse rant is out the way, time for a rumour which I thought raised a few eyebrows yesterday. Mine certainly. According to Gianluca Di Marzio, AC Milan are apparently showing an interest in our former left-back Anthony Robinson as a possible successor to their current left-back Ricardo Rodriguez. Now, Robertson is currently, of course, at Wigan Athletic, who are struggling in the Championship, second from bottom. So it's quite a surprise to see a side looking to qualify for Europe pursuing him. However, Robinson is still young and, of course, could improve in the next few years. And if he does, there's a good chance that we could go back in for him as well. Particularly if Marcel Brands has put a buyback option in his Wigan deal. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out one way or another. No doubt it's still worth, if you're an Everton fan, to keep tabs on Anthony Robinson as he plies his trade in the Championship. Finally today, a rumour coming out of Scotland, and the Daily Record in Glasgow suggests that Everton are scouting Lawrence Shankland, a 24-year-old Scotland international who made his debut for his country earlier last year, and he currently plays for Dundee United, who are in the second tier of the Scottish leagues and are actually tearing it up. They're running away with the title and look like being promoted back to the SPL. Shankland has 25 goals in 26 games for both club and country combined, so it's a fantastic season that he is having. The report says that Dundee United aren't keen to sell at present for obvious reasons, but it seems that QPR are also interested and they are leading the race as their interest is more concrete than ours. But if Everton are genuinely interested, it seems that they better get their skates on. Whether or not a striker from the Scottish second tier is the answer to our striking issues is questionable, but by all means let us know what you think of Lawrence Shankland if you've seen him in action. You've certainly seen more of him in action than I have, so we'd love to hear what you think about that. And of course, let us know all your opinions on tonight's news, so give us a comment, a like and a subscribe, and I'll be back with another news report on Sunday. And until then, thank you guys for watching on the Toffee Blues.